got you updated. This is Radio Imanzi News in English.
This is Radio Imanzi broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English, brought to you by Fiona Umuganwa. The headlines. President Paul Kagame has arrived in Jordan. Rulindo district has urged all schools to install lightning protection systems. The Luxembourg Stock Exchange and Rwanda Stock Exchange have signed a memorandum of understanding. Afghanistan's Taliban rulers unexpectedly decided against reopening schools to girls. Now the news in detail. President Paul Kagame has arrived in Aqaba, Jordan, where he met with His Majesty King Abdullah II ahead of the Aqaba Process meeting on East Africa taking place tomorrow. Today's bilateral meeting discussed enhancing ongoing areas of cooperation between Jordan and Rwanda. In a special ring the bell ceremony held in Luxembourg earlier today, the Luxembourg Stock Exchange and Rwanda Stock Exchange joined together to celebrate the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the two institutions. The MOU aims to establish a long-term cooperation between the two exchanges and contribute to building bridges between the financial services industries in Luxembourg and Rwanda, with a specific focus on the development of sustainable finance in the African country. The CEO of Rwanda Stock Exchange, Mr. Pierre Celestin Gwabkumba, who talked to Radio Imanzi, re-emphasized the importance of this agreement for sustainable finance.
As you know, right now, the entire planet is for investors out there nowadays are focusing, demanding. They have different demands in investing in different countries, in different companies, and different sectors of the economies across the globe. So one of them is sustainability. The UN has put in place Millennium Development Goals, which are ended in 2015. Today we are talking about Sustainable Development Goals. So there are 17 of them. And all of them are making sure that we are building a world which is more responsible, even in terms of investments, not only about profitability. So now, Luxembourg Stock Exchange, or as a country, is one of those financial centers of the world. We are number one as an exchange or a country or a financial center which has created the space for sustainable finance, green bonds and things like that. So we are signing them with them. We have signed with them just today to have a cooperation agreement in developing that space for Rwanda between us and Luxembourg. In Rwanda, we become their one of their places of investment. And for us, we learn from them. So basically, the agreement is focusing on three areas. The first one is product development, with a focus on sustainable finance, basically green bonds and so on. The second one is a product development, which is looking at dual listings between both exchanges. And then the third one is capacity building. The capacity building in sustainable finance in our part of the world is not very deep. And Luxembourg has one of the best, if not the best, in the world. And they want to take advantage of that. And also for them, they will be able to access our markets. In Rwanda, as we are aspiring to create an international financial center, the Kigali International Financial Center, we all know, we are being part and parcel of what they are doing. And this is basically a continuation or an implementation phase getting into in different areas. So the government has signed with their counterparts in Luxembourg, and now the different institutions are going their way in their area of expertise or their area of interest. They have mutual interest in working with that exchange because they have created the first platform to promote green finance in the world. So we are standing to gain from that. And if we get products and services and investors, a wider pool of investors, we stand to gain as a country.
Mr. Pierre Celeste Gwabukumba speaking. Lurindo District has urged all schools to install lightning protection systems as victims of lightning strikes keep increasing during the raging torrential rains in the country. The call follows the latest disaster where lightning struck 11 students from GS Ngarama in Lurindo District on the evening of Tuesday, March 22nd. According to the mayor of Lurindo District, Judith Mukanyirigira, the struck students are doing well except for 2 students who are transferred to the district hospital. Lurindo District is among districts in which lightning strikes cases are on the increase. Rwanda is hosting a delegation of the South Sudan People's Defense Force led by Major General Malak Iwen Adjok, who are in the country for an exchange visit in the field of gender empowerment. The week-long visit was organized in collaboration with UN Women South Sudan with a view to exchange experiences on gender responsiveness and empowerment in post-conflict situations. Brigadier General David Lokonga Moses said the purpose of the visit to Rwanda is to learn from each other and share experiences. They have seen how women are deeply involved in the development of the country and want to take that experience back home. The governor of Western Province, Francois Habitegeko, has urged local leaders in the province to double their efforts to bring down the number of child stunting, which is currently at 40%. The province has the highest prevalence of stunting in the country. Speaking at an event that brought together local leaders, NGOs and faith-based organizations operating in the province, Habitegeko said that this problem should be given the attention it deserves. He said that finding a solution should not be difficult since much of the work involves changing mindsets. He said the province produces plenty of food and in most cases it is only education that is required for people to feed their children nutritious food. Women in the Rusizi district say that entrepreneurship culture is one of the most significant aspects of their lives because there are various opportunities where they reside that encourage them to work. Rusizi district is located near the Rwanda-DRC border. The coordinator of the National Women's Council in Rusizi district, Jeanne d'Arc, agrees with these women, stating that hard work is part of their culture and contributes to the prevention and resolution of domestic violence as well as the district's development. We will continue with some items of international news after the advertisement.
Are you looking for the best language interpreting services for your next meeting, training workshop, or forum, in person or remotely? Look no further. Gemini Multimedia Limited offers high-quality and professional interpreting and document translation services in various fields of expertise. Based on the International Association of Conference Interpreters, AIC, and with a team of professionals with more than 10 years of experience in the field, you can rely on us for a smooth running of your next event. Locate Gemini Multimedia Limited on KG14 Avenue 258 between Kagugu Health Center and Fawe Girls School. You can also call us on 0790-719-909 or visit www.geminimultimedia.org. Gemini Multimedia Limited. Speak clearly. Listen reliably.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
Somali security forces have shot dead 2 gunmen who tried to storm into an army base at the Mogadishu International Airport complex today. The fighting that erupted between the armed men and Haramad Police Force unit, backed by African Union peacekeepers, lasted about an hour. According to witnesses, a group of armed men tried to gain entry to the airport, which hosts UN, diplomatic and African Union peacekeepers missions, through the Marina Gate next to the General Kahiye Police Academy, forcing their way inside. Afghanistan's Taliban rulers unexpectedly decided against reopening schools to girls above the 6th grade, reneging on a promise and opting to appease their hardline base at the expense of further alienating the international community. The surprising decision, confirmed by a Taliban official, is bound to disrupt efforts by the Taliban to win recognition from potential international donors at a time when the country is mired in a worsening humanitarian crisis. The international community has urged Taliban leaders to reopen schools and give women their right to public space. Malawi has rolled out the first round of a mass oral polio vaccine campaign for children under the age of 5. Responding to the call, women brought their children for immunization as the Malawian health minister took the lead in administering the shots. Impressed by the turnout of women with their children in the exercise, Dr. Janet Kaita, World Health Organization representative in Malawi, said there has been a huge massive effort to strengthen the routine immunization system. In fact, in a very short 3 weeks, they have come from having no environmental surveillance sites to now having 11 active sites to complement the clinical surveillance that is already happening. And that includes really making sure that all the systems to store the samples, to ship them, get them to the laboratory in South Africa are working well. Senegalese President Macky Sall met with the World Bank President David Malpass on the second day of the World Water Forum. The African Union chairperson reiterated his request that the institution supports African and other developing countries through the special drawing rights system. The officials discussed challenges and solutions to address water crisis, but economic recovery and special schemes for developing countries were part of the agenda. As the leaders touched the consequences of the Russia-Ukraine conflict on the global economy, President Sall reiterated his request that Africa be granted funds through the special drawing rights system. The SDR system is an international reserve asset created by the IMF to supplement its member countries' official reserves. Shanghai authorities today appealed for calm as worried citizens swarmed online grocery platforms to stock up on food, fearing imminent closures in a city struggling to stem a COVID spike. China is experiencing its worst COVID-19 outbreak since the pandemic began more than 2 years ago, with Shanghai posting a record number of cases as the highly transmissible Omicron variant frustrates authorities. Shanghai has responded to the outbreak with targeted residential containment in areas with confirmed cases or close contacts, rather than citywide containment to minimize disruption. But as the number of cases increases, public concern is growing, and residents have taken to social media to express their fear of further closures in this city of about 25 million people. Economic news is a regular feature on Radio Imanzi. The Rwanda Stock Exchange market report of today. Today's trading session was dominated by the equities market, which recorded a total turnover of 1.17 billion Rwandan francs from 4,886,400 shares traded in 5 deals, while the fixed income market recorded 40,740,000 Rwandan francs worth of bonds traded in 2 deals. Bank of Kigali counter closed at 249 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 1,186,000 172,428,500 Rwandan francs from 4,885,100 shares traded in 3 deals. Breadgua closed the counter at 125 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 162,500 Rwandan francs from 1,300 shares traded in 2 deals. I&M Bank counter closed at 45 Rwandan francs. Simergwa closed the counter at 120 Rwandan francs. MTN Rwanda at 180. Equity Bank at 440. Kenya Commercial Bank at 370. National Media Group at 1,200. Utri Supermarket at 104. And RH Buffalo closed the counter at 526 Rwandan francs as the market closed. The currency market review of today. The Kenyan shilling buying price was 8.7 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 8.9 Rwandan francs. Tanzanian shilling buying price was 0.43 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 0.44 Rwandan francs. Ugandan shilling buying price was 0.28781 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 0.287 Rwandan francs. Burundian franc buying price was 0.49 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 0.5. The US dollar buying price was 1,007 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,027 Rwandan francs. The British pound buying price was 1,338 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,365 Rwandan francs. The euro buying price was 1,111 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,133 Rwandan francs. Today's weather forecast from the Rwanda Meteorology Department. From 6 in the evening to midnight, rain is expected in Gasabo District in Kigali City, Rusizi and Nyamasheke districts in the Western Province, and Rulindo and Gicumbi districts in Northern Province, while the rest of the country is expected to be mostly cloudy. The average wind speed expected is of between 2 meters per second and 4 meters per second. From midnight to 6 in the morning, it is expected to be mostly cloudy in all parts of the country. The average wind speed expected is of between 3 meters per second and 4 meters per second. The minimum temperature is to be 11 degrees Celsius tomorrow morning in Nyabihu district. With that, we come to the end of tonight's edition.